Howdy everybody, Michael Mass here, and welcome to this week's edition of When Can We Do This Again? Your tips, tricks, previews, reviews, all things good, maybe not so good. If you are planning a trip to Walt Disney World and you need some hacks to kind of get you through the day to save some time, money, or just plain worry while planning that trip, this is where you can start. Now, if this is your first time on the channel, hit this little button down here, hit the subscribe button, and let's get started. On this week's episode, we are going to talk about what time of year to plan your next Walt Disney World trip. Now, everybody wants to avoid the lines and wants to stay out of the crowds. This is going to help you figure that out. If you have complete availability, this is definitely the video that's going to say this time, or this time is the best time. If you're a student or a teacher or something like that that has limited availability, there are going to be some tips in there. They're going to help you maybe stay away from the busiest of busy seasons when it comes to Walt Disney World. But first, if you have some great tips and you would like to help some other people out with maybe what you think is the best time to go to Walt Disney World or your experiences, please comment down below and help everybody else out as I help you out. Now, let's get started to the point. The first thing you're going to want to avoid when it comes to Walt Disney World is Christmas. Christmas. This is the busiest time of the year at Walt Disney World, regardless of how you look at it. It is so packed. Everybody's getting those Christmas gifts and headed to Walt Disney World for Christmas. So if it's between about December 21st and January 6th-ish, because that's actually race weekend most of the times, though that area of the year is the most packed. It is the only time of the year that the parks go under like temporary closure and don't allow any more guests in. I think that happened like 2 or 3 times last year that they said no more people can come in right now. You have to wait till about 6 o'clock and they'll open the park again. The Christmas time of the year is definitely the most avoidable. Avoid that if you can, because the parks are crazy and ridiculously packed. Now let's get rid of this Christmas gear and get on to the next time of year. The next time of year that you can best avoid or most avoid when it comes to Walt Disney World is going to be the summer. Not only is it hot and humid and it feels like a sauna in Florida in the middle of summer, it is going to be one of the most packed times of year because everybody is out of school. Now, the good thing about summer is it's spread out from May 28th to about August 14th. So you have a disbursement of all these people coming in for the summer, but everybody travels for their summer vacation to Walt Disney World and enjoys that little time there. Now, granted, like, I think I would stay away if I were you. I wouldn't go. 1, but the humidity is ridiculous in Florida at that time. 2, it is the lines. The lines are long. Why do you want long lines? Why do you want to stand in humid long lines for that? Now, the good thing about Walt Disney World is a lot of those queues are indoors, and you don't have to worry about that, but it's the summer. If there was a time of the summer that I would avoid the most, it's going to be the 4th of July. The 4th of July week is the most packed and busy. The fireworks are special for the July 3rd and July 4th and are amazing. But I would just avoid going to the parks anytime that week because it is going to be the most crowded, and that's the closest that they ever get to shutting down like entrance into the Magic Kingdom at any point in the year other than Christmas. The third time of year that I would most recommend you stay away from Walt Disney World is going to be spring break. That's going to be from early March to mid-April. Early March to mid-April. It is a busy season because of spring break. Like I said, if teachers are out of school, like, it's usually going to be busy. If students are out of school, it's usually going to be busy. This is a time of the year I would definitely avoid. Now, once again, this is kind of dispersed like summer. You have like 6 weeks there. Everybody has their spring breaks at different times, but it definitely is spring break season at Walt Disney World. Now, I know you're asking, but Michael, when should I go? When should I go to Walt Disney World? You seem to mention all of these times on which people shouldn't go. When should I go? Well, let's talk about when you should go to Walt Disney World. A few years back, I was planning a vacation and had this is before I moved to Florida, and I didn't know as much about Walt Disney World. I kind of had a choice between 2 areas of attending Walt Disney World. In the fall or late winter, basically, I guess you would call it, and I chose late winter. January 15th through about February 15th is, in my opinion, the best time to get to the parks to avoid the crowds. It's not decorated for Christmas anymore, so you have that. Everybody has left. The Christmas crowds have left, and we haven't ramped up into the spring break season yet. So guess what? The parks are in that lull. Now, I will say during this time nowadays, there has been the Pro Bowl for the last couple of years. That last week in January, the crowds kind of flow in a little bit more because of that. But for the most part, that month, like January 15th to February 15th area, like not exactly, but that area is some of the least crowded times of the year at Walt Disney World. As well, you have President's Day in the middle of that, so guess what? You tack that on, you get a few days off, don't have to worry about taking them off, and then you have the rest of the week to enjoy. So I definitely would recommend January to mid-February. And if you're not going to go in January to late February, now let me tell you this also about that time. When we went, we didn't stand in a line longer than 30 minutes. The longest line we stood in for 30 minutes was to eat at Be Our Guest for lunch. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, let's get to my second most favorite time to avoid the crowds at Walt Disney World. It's also my favorite time of the year at Walt Disney World, and that's the Halloween season. It's gonna be from like mid-August to like late October. This time of the year is quite nice to visit Walt Disney World. Now I'll say, because if you're planning a 5 to 10 day trip, you're gonna overlap weekends anyway. There's some parks I would stay out of on weekends, but for the most part, this is a great time of year to go to Walt Disney World and avoid the lines. The heat is kind of gone, the summer crowds have went off, and we haven't ramped back up to Thanksgiving yet. So guess what? No lines, or less lines. I can't guarantee no lines. There's always going to be lines at Walt Disney World, but the lines are much fewer, and you get all of those wonderful, wonderful fall decorations that are in the Magic Kingdom and some of the other parks dispersed here and there. So, what is my last most recommended time to get to Walt Disney World? Try going between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now, you're between two of the most, well, Thanksgiving's not so busy, but Christmas is the busiest season. Everybody's waiting for Christmas to go to Walt Disney World. So guess what? Those first 2 weeks of December are nice. The weather is definitely cool, calm, and smooth there. It's nice. Like I think I'm talking about a jazz song apparently. But no, we're talking about like Walt Disney World. When it comes to like December, you have the Christmas all decoration, and it's the most wonderful time and magical time of the year at Walt Disney World. Wow, like I definitely would make sure to at least see the parks at that time and somewhere in my life, but it is also a really like slowed down time of year. It hasn't got to everybody waiting for those Christmas gifts yet, and everybody showing up at the parks in late December. You definitely have a great opportunity to avoid a lot of lines if you go early December, those first 2 weeks, like the 1st through the 14th, the 1st through the 14th. Now, as you've seen the calendar throughout the thing there, obviously all of those things that are in red are going to be things that you should avoid. The black is definitely don't go, and the yellow is obviously a little bit slower. If it's in white and unmarked, that's definitely a better time of the year to go. But don't forget, the best 3 times a year are going to be first 2 weeks of December, the September and October there for the fall, and then obviously late winter, which means you can get out of the cold and get to Walt Disney World where it's going to be a little bit warmer, at least a little bit warmer during the winter season. If you have any recommendations, like I've said before, let me know down below, because I would love to share those with people. I would love for you to share those people, help out everybody in the community to enjoy Walt Disney World just a little bit more. And I understand I might be giving away some secrets here, and these seasons build up and become a little bit busier. But you know what? There really is no such thing as a non-busy day at Walt Disney World. It's always busy, just sometimes it's unbearably busy. If this is your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe button. And if you liked this video, heck, if you loved this video, hit the like button. And if you didn't like the video, well, just hit like a sarcastic thumbs up, maybe? A sarcastic thumbs up there. I'm gonna get out of here. That's all for this week. I hope you enjoy, and I hope that I've helped you on your next journey to Walt Disney World. And until next time, I hope to see you again so we can do this again. Bye-bye!